What is going on, friends of film fandom, wherever you may be and however you may be watching and or listening? We appreciate you being here and giving us just a little bit of your time. We are, of course, The Harsh Truth, and I am, as always, of course, not Frank.
That's me.
Yeah, that's him. He's actually here. I can make the joke, but it still lands just as well when he is here. Yeah, and I don't know if I'm actually supposed to be here today because this might be like the third time I've been called in to work here at Clerks. I don't know. Maybe third time's the charm.
That's what's funny is we're not supposed to be here today. If we would have done all this stuff on schedule, had I not had internet problems and then worked insanely late one day, we would actually have been done with Clerks 2 and 3 by now. So technically, we're not supposed to be here today.
Yeah,
at least not doing this.
Right. I'm supposed to be here today. But we are here today. Not only myself and Frank down there, but we also have in the ether somewhere out there, we have the voice from the Lone Star State. He's definitely not parked in a Waffle House parking lot, but here to join us. We got Tex. How are you doing?
Fun fact: the only thing that makes Texas barbecue taste even better is eating it in a empty, being refurbished Waffle House parking lot that's next door to the place. So, fun fact if you're ever visiting. But what's up, everybody? I'm also not Frank because you see him on the screen. But yeah, I have seen Fantastic Four, and I sent Frank the non-spoiler out of theater reaction, and spoilers, everybody dies. So, life sucks. What are you going to do? So,
yeah, I'll probably go ahead and pull it up because he sent it to us on Twitter. I'll probably go ahead and pull it up and just kind of let everybody listen to it because I haven't actually listened to it yet. We'll all listen to it together at the very end, then I'll put it up as a short later on tonight.
There you go. Either way, what's up, y'all?
Anyway, like I said, we do have the actual living, breathing Frank just below me here. And how are you this evening, my good sir?
I am doing fantastic. 2 shows in a row. We have to start off by talking about the loss of a generational icon.
I was gonna say we do
the world is rough, man. Sometimes it just spins off its axis. Mm-hmm. The universe needs to get it together, man. Needs to get it together.
Yeah, and for any of those who have not heard, not only did we lose Ozzy Osbourne 2 days ago, we also just today lost Hulk Hogan, which is insane. I think Frank can maybe speak about this a little more because the thing now on like the internet is, hey Gen X, are you okay? Like you're losing everybody. It sucks because this is what.
It's been a tough couple of days for people of my age, yes.
Yeah, and I was like, even me, I'm like, these are the wrestlers that I like, I liked when I was a kid. Even it's like who Hulk Hogan is. Same thing, like I said, even if you don't know, who Ozzy is. It's kind of the same thing. He wasn't my favorite, but I mean, my character, obviously, I like the Undertaker, but I mean, you can't deny, man, like this, like who the fuck Hulk Hogan is. So. It sucks. I know Tex, you're here you want to give us some quick thoughts before you bounce out of here and get back to your Waffle House brisket. The picture just for you.
Waffle House brisket will be the name of my first metal album is what I do. That's a tremendous name. But yeah, no, when I saw this, I loved pro wrestling back in the day. I was a WCW guy. Hell, I got to see Hollywood Hulk Hogan versus, fight live. I grew up, watching it as a kid. Not as much anymore, but Hulk Hogan everybody knows Hulk Hogan from wrestling, television, movies. I mean, Thunder in Paradise was a terrible television show, but I loved it as a kid. I mean, Hulk Hogan is pro wrestling. I mean, it's between him and Stone Cold Steve Austin of who had the bigger impact, but I mean, WrestleMania was built around Hulk Hogan, from WrestleManias, I think 1 through 5 or 6 or something, all the way up to like 9 until he goes to WCW. But, being a WCW kid, it was Starrcade 97. And I don't know if y'all remember that pay-per-view or not, but that was the night of one of the most controversial matches ever done, where Sting finally beat Hollywood Hogan and They still argue about it to this day. That was the first pay-per-view I ever bought, and if it was not for Hulk Hogan, that pay-per-view would not have existed. There was an 18-month span where Sting wanted to fight Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Sting never said a word. He just kept pointing at Hulk with a bat, and Hulk was such a star that he carried that thing for that long. And, Hulk Hogan from the 80s going into the 90s, if you're watching pro wrestling today, it's because of Hulk Hogan. And yeah, I know he said something naughty you might not have liked, but guess what? Get over it, because if it wasn't for that man on screen right there, you don't have Stone Cold, John Cena, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, any of your other favorites, because that man kept wrestling on the playing field. And a thank you for your service to Hulk Hogan is not nearly enough. It's, this is, the Aussie passing didn't hit me nearly as much because I wasn't as big of a fan, but it floored me when I saw Hulk Hogan had passed on. And that was a huge piece of my childhood of, no fucking way. Like, my first thought was, we need to wrap Ric Flair in bubble wrap immediately and protect that man. Because I'm telling you right now, the day Ric Flair goes, I will cry. You will see a grown man cry the day he goes. I'm not ready for that one. But yeah,
you got to give us a woo before you cry, though, at least.
Oh yeah. Where there will be, instead of a 21 gun salute, there will be a 21 woo salute. We will be doing that. I'm telling you right now.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Hulk Hogan, man, he's just, whether you loved him or you hated him, you had to respect him from the films, obviously the wrestling. One of the most polarizing figures in America. Hulk Hogan was Americana. Take your prayers. Say your prayers and take your vitamins, kids. What you gonna do, brother? And all of the lines. You knew who Hulk Hogan was, and for him to go at this age and the way that he did, man. Thank you, sir. And he's up in heaven dropping the big leg on some dumbass that deserves it. So, baby. Thank you, Hulk Hogan.
Hell yeah. And I'll go to this one because this is a pretty cool one too. Frank, what are your thoughts on Hulk Hogan?
Yeah,
that was my first one. I love that one.
That's kind of my eternal memory of Hulk Hogan. I remember as a boy of about 8 years old, my dad, who was never a big wrestling fan, he thought it was all kind of hooky. Because I was so into it in like 1984-ish, somewhere in that range. Bought a ticket to take me to go see WWF wrestling at the Civic Center in Santa Cruz, California, where I got to see Hulk Hogan wrestle Dangerous Danny Davis. So that tells you how old I am. And not only that,
that's way back.
Yeah, that's going back.
Yeah,
Jesus. That's how you know. That's how you know that most of my hair is gray. And but
what hair? You ain't got none.
Yeah, but all the hair that I don't shave is gray
on his face, not his head.
Yeah, but and then so many years later, I got tickets for me and my brother to go to the first King of the Ring right up here in the Nerve Center in Dayton, Ohio. I was in the crowd for that, about 10 or 15 feet back from the walkway, where I got to see him wrestle Yokozuna, and I got to see Bret Hart win the first King of the Ring. And so it's
cool.
I mean, I got into a conversation after the show one time with Drew and with Joe Cronin about who did more for wrestling, Ric Flair or Hulk Hogan, and I'm like, I think they both did a lot, but I was like, I think the one that wrestling needed to become the cultural juggernaut that it did in the 80s was Hulk Hogan. That I do think that wrestling would have grown. We would have eventually had guys like The Rock and Undertaker, and it would have grown into these things, because largely the creative stuff was on the shoulders of McMahon and his crew doing all that in the 80s and 90s. And I think all that still would have happened, but to have that presence, that the face of the franchise, Hulk Hogan was the guy you needed right then and there. And yeah, other guys were great characters. I mean, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, go through the whole list of golden era wrestlers. All those guys were great characters.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All those guys were great people to like put out there. But I mean, the face, the head of the spear was Hulk Hogan. And that he brought that kind of energy and excitement. He was the one that everybody rallied behind. And when you're into something like WWF, when you're trying to run it, you need that one thing that brings in the casual people. You know, we talk about all the time with some of these superhero movies. Yeah, you've got to cater to the comic book fans, but you've also got to put a lot in there that takes the casual movie goer and makes them want to come pay to see your movie. This was the guy who drew those casual people because he was so marketable. He was, you know, Heisman Defoe did a video earlier that's fantastic that you guys should go watch if you get a chance. Check out his link in the comments below, in the description below. But he talked about how he was in cartoons, he was in Serial, he was in
Rock and wrestling in the 80s.
Yeah, he was in Rocky 3 as what was his name? Sugar Lips or something like Thunder Lips. Thunder Lips.
Yep.
And then in the 90s, that terribly campy TV show that was so bad that you couldn't not watch
Thunder in Paradise.
It's like I hated that show, and every time it came on, I would still find myself watching it just because it was so engrossing. And then, you know, he was the marketing strength that built the WWF and eventually the WWE into what it was. Not only that, but he was likable. I mean, and then of course it was the whole, you know, late in the 80s and early in the 90s, there was a big pro-America thing going on, and he was the guy, you know, like you see in the picture right there.
This to me is Hulk Hogan, like you said, right
the 24-inch python's brother and all that stuff. And then to top it off, it's like so many stars. You know, there's this saying out there, "Don't meet your heroes," because it kind of ruins the illusion. There was this video that I stumbled across just about an hour ago of the kid that he runs into when he's signing autographs in Florida.
Yes.
And the kid goes up there and starts the whole wrestling trash talk thing, and him and Hogan are going back and forth. And this kid who was probably about 5
Let me tell you something.
Is like just giving him what for, then does the whole shirt tear. And Hulk Hogan was like, Jesus Christ, this is awesome. I mean, even him and his presence was just like blown away at how cool this was. I mean, you know, nobody's perfect. Yeah, he said what he said on that recorded phone call. And Heisman talks about that too. It raises a pretty interesting point about it. I'll just tell you guys to go watch this video. But you know, it's sometimes when someone dies, you can't just look at the bad stuff. You have to look at all of it. And it's disappointing to me that sometimes that's all people will think of. I just realized I forgot to click start stream on Rumble. That was my bad, everybody. Sorry, but no, we'll get the review, and that's fine. But yeah, it's you got to take in the whole measure of the person you're talking about. Because I mean, let's be honest, none of us is perfect. We're all somehow broken. We all say dumb things. We all have dumb thoughts that somehow creep out of our heads and into the world. And so take the whole body of this person's life and experience it all the way it should be. Don't let one or two things, you know, make you hate a person. Because I mean, let's face it. I mean, he did a lot of charity work. He did a lot. I mean, that like the thing with the kid. I mean, that's one thing that was on camera. If you've ever watched a wrestling event with him there, he was always going to kids. He was throwing them, you know, the freshly torn shirt from the ring. He was just those things to really get you into it and to connect with you. It's a sad day. I mean, like I said, reach out to your Gen X kids, your Gen X friends, and pat them on the back and tell them it's going to be okay. Because it's been between Theo Huxtable, Ozzy Osbourne, and Hulk Hogan, it's been a tough couple of days.
Yeah, it's been rough.
It's been a rough one for my generation. I mean, we've been hit pretty hard the last couple of days. So yeah, it's sad. It's sad. You know, no one lives forever. Time moves forward. Not all of us move forward with it.
Ric Flair. Two people must live forever for me to stay sane. Ric Flair and Willie Nelson. If either of them goes, I'm not sure how I'm going to handle myself. So protect them at all costs.
Yeah. So I think this weekend I might go back and get on the old streaming service. I might rewatch the first King of the Ring on Peacock because I've kind of watched clips of it here and there, but I might go watch the first King of the Ring, the one that I was at, so I can watch him. If you watch it, you may see my brother throwing nachos at Yokozuna. I don't know if it made it onto the camera or not. I was actually very worried we were going to get kicked out because I was just like, dude, I paid a lot of money for these fucking tickets. We got really good tickets, still get kicked out of here. Not now because we still had the final King of the Ring match. I was like, I want to see Bret Hart.
Right. Yokozuna probably appreciated the snack. You know, I mean, he's a big old boy. So, you know,
yeah, but yeah, I think I may watch that whole event this weekend and just kind of remember what it was like like I said, I was in 1984, 85, a relatively young Hulk Hogan. I can tell you at that match, he wrestled Dangerous Danny Davis. I got to watch Jake the Snake Roberts. Tito Santana was there. George the Animal Steel was there. I got to see George the Animal Steel tear up a belt buckle with my own eyes. I thought that was the coolest
shit. Did he eat the Eat the turnbuckle
He
pad in front
did.
of y'all?
He ate the turnbuckle.
Cool.
He tore it apart right there in front of me. I was
Wow.
like, yes, it's so cool. Yeah, so I got to experience what I think is the best generation of wrestling. I know Joe Cronin, who's way more involved in the wrestling stuff than I am, might disagree, but man, I got to see I got to grow up in the golden age of wrestling, and a lot of that was because Hulk Hogan. But yeah, go back and watch.
Hey, I'll say this. Maybe Hulk Hogan's greatest accomplishment, and for the ones that know, they know the whole Attitude Era in the 90s. If it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, that doesn't happen. If Hulk Hogan does not turn heel on Macho Man Randy Savage, that none of that ever happens. You don't get Stone Cold Steve Austin, DX, the Suckets, all of that. Because Hulk Hogan went bad. He was supposed to be washed up, and he inspired the entire business to go anti-hero, to go bad. And it changed everything.
Yeah,
like,
I can't think of much that shook up wrestling when he turned heel.
Oh God, I can remember it. It was because they were having their match. Macho Man's laying there in the ring. You've got the Outsiders, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall there, and you see Hulk Hogan coming down, and on the mic it's Bobby the Brain Heenan. Oh, it's Hulk Hogan. He's here to save us, yada yada, whatever, right? And you see Hogan kind of look like, what's going on? And then he drops that leg on Macho Man. People threw like cups of spit from chewing tobacco, like it got in their hair. They were throwing beers. They filled the ring full of trash. It was crazy, dude. It was a memory I'll never forget. It was incredible. It was great.
Yeah, I'll go back to this one, and I'll make it short and sweet because obviously I'm the fetus of this panel. Yes, obviously I wasn't there, but I mean, I still these characters, these really cool wrestling characters, have been established in the time that when I grew up, and I was like, I know who these people are, and like you said, these guys cemented a legacy that like you said, you just name drop any one of them, and you know who they are, You always want to ask, what's the Rock cooking? You want to get a hell yeah from Steve Austin, get Stone Cold stuttered, give a little Ric Flair woo, it's iconic, and it's iconic for a reason. Because and it'll stand the test of time. That sucks losing somebody as important to this event, this sport, this spectacle, whatever you want to call it, as Hulk Hogan.
Well, I'll say this, Jeremy. If it tells you go toy collecting like I do and everything else, so you know what the shelves look like. I went to Walmart about an hour after I heard that Hulk Hogan died. There were 4 different versions of Hulk Hogan in toy form that you could buy on the shelf right now. 4 different iterations of that man from that time ago. That was crazy to me to see he still had such a power over everybody that grown men like myself that buys this kind of thing. There's 4 different versions out there of Hulk Hogan in 2025, and he ain't even wrestling no more. To hold shelf space, that means something. So
there was already I don't know if it's just the timing of it or if it had planned to be released, but I think the same day that Ozzy passed away, they have a Funko Pop out for pre-order from I think right when he did his solo career, so right around 82, 81, 82.
Okay.
I was like, well, I guess I got to buy that now. Yeah, my pre-order. I guess I got to. We got somebody Northern DC got the pleasure to see Hogan once live in his life and never forget it. Steel cage match between Hogan and King Kong Bundy in Lake Placid. Nice.
Yeah, that was a legend. So many legendary feuds. I mean, from slamming Andre, even though he technically wasn't the first guy to do it. Hell, Kamala got to slam Andre, but just nobody ever talked about it. The whole feud with Macho Man and the Mega Powers exploding and all that. To my favorite feud with Sting in WCW. I mean, there's so many matches and memories. It's so many, dude.
If anyone has never seen it, and even if you're mildly a fan of wrestling, or at least the spectacle of it, there's a really funny video that's in the drunk history format that this guy does called "Wrestling Isn't Real," and he follows the story.
I've seen that. Oh yeah,
I've seen that goddamn video. I would recommend watching it to everybody on YouTube. It's so goofy. he like gender swaps all the people in the video, so like all of the wrestlers are portrayed by women, and it's so goddamn funny to watch.
Funny enough, they actually have some people that are actual pro wrestlers playing within that too. I forget exactly who they were, but there's 4 or 5 actual pro wrestlers in that. So yeah, it's a
cameo by Stone Cold at the end. He's like, "Hey, I told you you can use this clip, and I promise I won't kick your ass." I'm like,
it's about like 30, maybe 45 minutes at the most. It's a pretty decent little video. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like it's not just like a shoddy YouTube thing. It's actual Hollywood production level. So it's pretty good.
Oh, yeah. So that's about all I got to say about that, I suppose. And now for something completely different, in the words of Monty Python. We need that as a transition. And now for something completely different.
On that note, I will leave y'all to your Clerks review, even though I was hoping Frank would keep the meme going and not do this thing for another fucking week because it's getting funny now. But whatever, you got to ruin all my fun, Frank. So thank you for that.
You know, I got stuff to do, man.
I guess I understand, but
and I got another. You know, me and you were talking about a thing, and I was texting back and forth with Jeremy about it this morning. That suddenly become kind of the forefront of my mind. Something I wanted to do.
Oh, dude, I'm
really cool. So
I'm going. I won't spoil, for what it's going to be, but I'm going full on Johnny Cochran. Like, you just fucking wait. I've got plans here, so this is going to be fucking tremendous. So I can't wait.
All right,
boys, y'all have fun. I'm gonna go. Casey and them are talking more Hulk Hogan, and I've got Hulk Hogan on the brain, so I got to get this out. So y'all have fun with that, and I'm gonna go be annoyed with Casey. So adios.
I'm so sorry.
All right, we'll see y'all next week.
Yeah. All right. Well, oh, look at that. And then we got Stuart McQuay. What's going on? He just heard the news. What's going on this week? Ozzy and now Hulk. Dude, I have no idea. It's not not a good sign when we're only halfway through the year and we just keep dropping like flies. I think somewhere up there, I think my mom's in the chat. Yeah, Theo off the Cosby Show also died. In an undertow. He drowned, unfortunately. I don't know what the hell's going on anymore. But in the words of Hulk Hogan, let me tell you something about the movie Clerks. And thank you, Richu. I assure you we've been waiting weeks for this goddamn review. So, good God, let's get into it. Let's put this back up here. No, screw that. I'm doing this. We are here, of course, talking about Clerks 2. Knock on wood. Hopefully nothing crazy happens. Clerks 2 is a 2006 American black comedy film written and directed by Kevin Smith. It is the sequel to Clerks from 1994 and the 6th feature film to be set in the View Askewniverse. The film stars Brian O'Halloran, Jeff Anderson, Rosario Dawson, Trevor Fehrman, Jennifer Schwalbach Smith. I'm just going to say Kevin Smith's wife because I'm not going to say that name again. Jason Mewes, and of course Kevin Smith himself. And picks up with Dante Hicks, Randal Graves, Jay and Silent Bob, the new improved Jay and Silent Bob, rather, right? 10 years after the events of the previous film. Unlike the first film, which was shot in black and white, this film was shot mostly in color, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. The film screened out of competition at the 2006 Cannes Film Festival and won the Audience Award at the 2006 Edinburgh International Film Festival before receiving a theatrical release on July 21st, 2006. Man, we're almost on the dot with that date. Holy crap. To its critical and commercial success, grossing $27 million worldwide from a measly $5 million budget. We call that a win, kids, and we take those here. Clerks 2 holds a 63% approval rating on the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, based off of 166 reviews with an average rating of 6.1 out of 10. And the website's consensus reads, Clerks 2 dishes up much of the graphic humor and some of the insight that made the 1994 original a cult hit. And of course, as we've said many times here, there is in fact a Clerks 3 that was released, and it was released in 2022, which we will hopefully get to, because I don't know what kind of Macbeth-esque curse is over our Clerks review right now, but we are here for it. So, Frank, do you want to give me, I know I want to say quick quick thoughts, but I know there's no quick thoughts when it comes to you and me with Kevin Smith. But what are your quick thoughts on Clerks II?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure me and you could actually go for a solid 48-hour stream just talking about one movie at a time and back and forth about how well he uses meta and stuff like that. Look, I've said a couple of times in the stream, if you've ever watched An Evening with Kevin Smith, which came out many, many years ago, I think actually right around the time, slightly before this movie came out, or maybe right after this movie came out, I forget.
It was early 2000s.
He talks about how he uses Dante and Randal to kind of visualize how he sees the world at that stage of his life, and I think that's awesome. Mm-hmm. Dante and Randal are the paintbrush for how this guy sees the world. It's a really cool way of doing it all, and there is a really cool. While I like the first movie better, this movie is still really, really good because not only does it continue his basically satirical view of life as it was when this movie came out in 2006 or whatever, but it also shows his great growth as a filmmaker because Clerks, as much as I like it, there are some holes that a first-time filmmaker is going to have, but the quality of filmmaking between the first one and this one, it's huge. And it's not just because he got better, it's because people actually understood that he's a good filmmaker now, and then it kind of pushes you when there's expectations to do better. And he very much does better with this film. It doesn't hurt that he managed to get a really good cast. I mean, at the time, Ben Affleck, already pretty big star. Yeah. Even his quick cameo. Jay and Silent Bob had kind of become stars at that point. Rosario Dawson, same thing. Her career, she was well into her career at the time. So, yeah, but that's not, the stars aren't what drive this. What drives this is still Dante and Randal and their interactions as these two regular losers in a regular town in New Jersey. They are still the same guys. I talked about it in the first movie. The reason we like that movie so much is because me and you have had conversations like that about all the workers in the Death Star that were killed, just trying to weld shit together. Those are the conversations. Yeah, they consistently have the conversations that you and me and all of our friends have constantly when we're not recording. We're not really trying to think that hard about the world. So you can still relate to these guys, even though they've aged up through Clerks 1, 2, and eventually 3. You can still relate to them. Kevin Smith doesn't have to try that hard to make these Clerks movies awesome because he's really just kind of showing us again the world that we actually lived in, that we exist in at the time that he's showing us these characters. So yeah, it's another great effort by Kevin Smith.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, you love seeing growth in a filmmaker and their product as such, because like we said, this is the 6th movie in his repertoire at that point. So it's not like, he went from this to this. I mean, that would be one hell of a jump. But I mean, you had in between, you had like Mallrats, Chasing Amy. I don't think Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back wasn't out yet, right? Or was that?
No, that happened after this.
Okay.
No. No.
Was it before?
It happens before this because that's how they have the money at the end.
Okay, because that's what since our triumphant return. Yes. That's right.
Yeah.
Because they did that, and then okay, and like I said, like Dogma. So yeah, it's always cool to see. Like when I say you go big or you go better in a sequel, and that's definitely the case here. But at its core, I think it does still have that, like you said, it's got that relatability of like Dante and Randal. Like, yeah, you could be working this job, but just BSing about something, that you heard about in a movie. Like this one, while I do love the Death Star, controversy they talk about, I think my favorite one, which is also why I picked that as my line for this evening, I love that back and forth between Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, because I'm like, it's so funny to when you think about arguing back and forth about stuff like that. I'm like, I'm a fan of both, so it is just I'm laughing at these two guys just butting heads over, and that's one of my favorite lines. He's like, "There's only one return, you morons, and it's not of the ring, it's of the Jedi." And he's like, "Star Wars geek." I'm like, "What? What are we doing here?" Then he makes him puke, and then big with the cleaning supplies that he definitely did not know they had. I like this. I do like Clerks II. And now, like I said, it hits a little differently because, like I said, when we did Clerks 1, I'm like, oh crap, I'm actually in my Clerks 2 era now. Because I love that, like when he says to Randal, he's like, "Dude, you're 32." I'm like, oh my god, it like actually gut punched me a little bit. I was like, oh my god, I'm 32. Damn it.
Yeah, but you're not working in movies. You're way better off than these guys are.
Yeah, I guess. I'm just like, when I saw Clerks and stuff, I probably was in my 20s or so. But like, so So yeah, it's kind of funny that now I can kind of relate to this. That I'm in that little weird era now. But yeah, this is a fun movie. There's like I said, still kind of that crazy charm that we get from the first movie. Let's see the first. Yeah, okay. That's Twitter. Good lord, I'll get this right. Where's the picture of that little motherfucker? I didn't get many pictures. Jesus. Let's put him up there. First bullet point, of course. It literally says, "Do we need to go on even more about Kevin Smith?" I mean,
yeah.
What can we say about it? What more haven't we already said about this man?
Even when we're not, yeah, even when we're not talking about a Kevin Smith movie, I think sometimes we tend to go that way because of his skill set and kind of the way he does things. I mean, look, this isn't the last Kevin Smith movie we're going to do. Obviously, we're going to do Clerks 3 at some point in the near future.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, we'll go down the rest of the View Askewniverse because, we got to do with Tusk is a movie I know we've talked about doing for a while.
Yes.
And then, of course, the Jay and Silent Bob standalone movies and things like that. Look, he's a great director. He's a great director and a great writer. I mean, I don't necessarily put him up there with like Aaron Sorkin or something like that. But as far as, like I said, just kind of showing us ourselves in the world that he sees it in the satirical form.
Very relatable.
Yeah, he's a guy. He is like us. I mean, he went to film school and dropped out like after a month. And all he did was go and start the View Askewniverse, which has been terribly successful. And like I said, make one of the greatest independent films of all time in the first Clerks. Look, sometimes you just got it. And Kevin Smith has got it. And dude, super talented. I mean, even really before a lot of the Clerks stuff, a lot of people forget he had actually written the treatment for a Superman movie.
That's right. Yeah.
Very famously, he had done some other writing and directing on some smaller things, and then obviously his magnum opus of Clerks comes out, and then that's what puts his name out there to everybody. But I mean, dude, he's such a great. He's done something that I think Spielberg has been doing. He's kind of already to that point. Not to put him at that level yet. I don't want to. So don't get that idea. No, but he's gone to different genres and was like, I want to try this. I want to test it out. Because it's gotten to the point where Spielberg's just like, he's like, is there a movie I haven't done yet? I haven't done a musical, so let's go do West Side Story. And then he goes do West Side Story, and then West Side Story does very well, and everybody loves it. He's like, is there a genre I can't do? It's the same thing with him. He's done horror. He's done the rom-com thing with Chasing Amy. He's done his own stuff with Clerks. He's done some dramatic stuff like I only saw Red State once, I think, when it first came out. I haven't seen it since. But I mean, but he's tackled the drama. He's gotten into TV. Him being a superhero fan, like so many of us. He did episodes of The Flash and stuff like that. One that very famously he directed that had Jason Mewes in it. And so yeah, the guy's been around. He's not afraid to tackle a different subject that he isn't known for, isn't comfortable with, and say, I want to try to put my spin on this thing. I don't want to alter the genre or change it. I just want to see if I can do it and put maybe a little bit of me into it and kind of make it kind of mine, but still fit into what the genre is supposed to be. So yeah, he's extremely talented and a great director. He's even a better writer. I mean, some people have, dude, I'm trying it. Writing's hard. It's like, I go through the stuff that I try to write and I'm like, this sounds like, it's like, I know what I'm trying to say, but it sounds like ass.
But it sounds like you just wrote something out. It doesn't feel, I know what you mean.
But it's hard. But this guy, it's like, I don't know. Some people haven't. He's got it. He's a fantastic writer, a fantastic storyteller. And I've been saying it for a long time now, most of my life, music and movies specifically. The actors say the words, but the writers are the real storytellers here. Let's not get it twisted. And he is one of the great writers of the last 20 years. Well, I guess 30 years now, really.
I agree. He's someone that, like, when things are character driven or dialogue driven, it's like, it doesn't rely on crazy special effects and superheroes flying across the screen. While that is cool, like, yes, about jumped on my fucking seat when I saw Captain America grab Thor's hammer, holy shit, but there's something about these, and it's like, it's also why kind of in that same vein when we talk about like independent films from the 90s, like Tarantino, he's kind of got the same, like, I'm like, I can just sit there and listen to the dialogue he writes back and forth with these characters. And I'm like, same with Kevin Smith. I'm like, just the dialogue that drives these movies and the things that we quote constantly from these movies and just offbeat. I don't think people realize, people who don't maybe know me, or like, they don't realize I'm like 90% of what I'm saying, it's because of how it was inflicted in a movie or how it was said or in context. I'm like, I'm probably quoting a movie to you and you have no idea. You know what I mean? Like, and it makes no sense in context or out of context rather. And like we were just saying a second ago, I about meeting your heroes. Like I said in the last Clerks review, I got to meet Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes at the same con. Brian O'Halloran was also there, and so was Rosario Dawson. But I also wanted to have a positive bank balance, so I made. Man, it was hard. I'm like I had to make the choice to at least go see Jay and Silent Bob, and like I said, I'm not saying I know him personally. I don't know these guys, but like when I went to them, like they were the coolest, the most chill dudes. They were fun. Like Kevin Smith was just really, really sweet. He was cool. Even like I said, I've told the story. Like the handler, the lady, whatever the hell, in his booth was giving me a fucking hard time because the instructions were not clear. So I didn't really get as much of a chance to, I just wanted to real quick say to Kevin, like, hey man, I appreciate what you do. I'm glad you're still here doing what you do. And I do what I do just on this little weird corner of the internet over here with Frank because of him. And like, he does inspire a lot of things to me where I'm like, oh, fuck it. I could go out and make a movie. I mean, like that's an easy statement to make come true. I'm like, I could pick up a camera and make some crappy film. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? But it's like, but it's the fun, like what he always says, make something you want to see. And I always love that when people ask him like, oh, would you ever direct a Star Wars thing? Would you ever do this? He's like, no, absolutely not. And I'm like, I love that he has that cutoff where he's like, no, I would not. He's like, I want to watch that. I want to enjoy it. I wouldn't want to put myself into that, Also, the pressure of it would be insane. I would not be able to. I would not want that either. But yeah, super cool guys. Like when I went to go see Jay Mewes, I was Eddie Munson and I had the shield, the trash can lid as the shield. I'm bouncing like a Jay and Silent Bob and a Bluntman and Chronic pop on there. I'm trying to like set it down on his table and it's not even because of the handle. I'm about dropping. He's like, hey, don't drop me, motherfucker. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so fucking frazzled. Sorry. Jesus Christ. He's like, I'm fucking with you, man. What you got? And I was like, I had him sign next to Kevin. He's like, I was like, oh, fuck that fat bastard. I'll sign right next to him. Look at that. He's real big. Yeah. But that's the cool thing about these movies. Like you said, you can see yourself in them. And I'm in my hot girl Clerks II era. Whatever the hell that even means. Ooh, where's my arrow? Whatever the hell that means. Arrow, come back. Jesus Christ. Stuart McQuaid. He does the same, use movie quotes in everyday life, and nobody has an effing clue what I'm talking about. Now it's as long as you know. Trust me.
Oh, we've said it 100 times. Jeremy and I, we communicate movie quotes.
Yeah. And that's kind of
between Kevin Smith and Anchorman and whatever other movie.
Yeah, because I was gonna say like this one also holds a good place for me and him because not only like was this like how we even became friends in the first place, this movie does contain the actual first thing that Frank ever fucking said to me, and I instantly knew what he meant, and I was like, okay, this fucking guy. We'll get to that in just a second. For what's the next? Oh, cast. Okay, so who we got? I don't know. It's usually three fuckers right here. So, what do you think about the cast? I realized Kevin Smith was making that face. Jesus Christ. Oh god, it's also like if you know the context, but I won't ruin it for you. But what do you think about the cast, Frank? Now we got the Jay and Silent Bob, of course. We have a new character in the middle, like Elias. Got Becky, of course. Kevin Smith's wife as Mrs. Hicks because I couldn't remember her fucking name. But
Schwalbach.
Yeah, and then I'm not gonna.
I've had to practice that name over the years. I'm not gonna lie. Schwalbach.
Yeah, that's a rough one for sure. But so along with the OGs and the head of this movie, what do you think about the cast? Is there anybody that stands out to you, new or old?
Clearly, O'Halloran and I almost called him Jason Lee. Jesus Christ, he's later in the movie. But clearly, Jeff Anderson and Brian O'Halloran. I mean, they're still the core of the film, the heart and soul of it. Obviously, there's a lot of there's a lot of comedic stuff, well, from them, but also I guess the comedy relief of the movie is Jay and Silent Bob. But I really love the fact that you have Rosario Dawson to give this movie a different kind of heart. Because one of the big differences between this movie and the first movie is that while there is the love triangle, it's really just kind of played for adolescent humor. You don't really like any of the girls. I like Rosario Dawson, this character. It's like really early on, I'm just like, I kind of want to see her be the one. She's not like the other girls that have been in his life. Whereas Jennifer Schwalbach's character is, and she's not a bad character, and I like her because at the end, let's face it, she really does get kind of shafted through all at the end of the movie here because she
a little bit,
yeah. So I do feel bad, but I'm like, I really love the kind of heart and emotion that we get from Rosario Dawson's character. It gives this movie a bit of a different flavor. I also love the addition of what's his name, Trevor Fehrman. Elias? Yeah, Trevor Fehrman plays Elias. Look, one of these days, sometimes when you make a sequel to a really good movie like Clerks, you can kind of screw it up by trying to put too many more ingredients in it. And I think Kevin Smith was really smart about not trying to make Clerks 2 so much bigger than Clerks 1. Yeah, the budget was bigger and there were certain expectations now, but he's like, ultimately, I still want this to be Dante and Randal just kind of existing in the world. I want them to be the focus of it all, and the rest of these characters just need to play their part for whatever reason. And I think those two additions to this movie are the ones that stand out the most, mostly Rosario Dawson, because A, she's knockout gorgeous. I mean, she is amazingly beautiful.
Where's that goddamn... Yeah,
and on top of that, like I said, there's a different heart to her character that doesn't exist in anybody else that had been in the movies up to this point. She's the one character that I'm really rooting for throughout this entire movie. I love Dante and Randal. I want them to have the happy ending at the end of the movie, but it's like she's the one that I really want to see her come out on top at the end of the movie. I really love her character.
Hell yeah. Making me choose stuff in Kevin Smith movies. God damn it. Well, yeah, I do like I said, I do like it's like the cast expands a little bit, but like I said, it's not like too much. Like it still fits within the context of the story and in this world that Kevin Smith has built up. Where's that damn picture of? Yeah, I like Elias as well because I'm like, I don't know. It's the contrast because like we know Randal, we know how Randal can be. Having him contrast against Elias, like who's kind of the younger one of the cast, and he's obviously very religiously upbrought. So he tries to be cool, like he's holding up an onion ring and try to quote Lord of the Rings, which is something I never thought I would say out loud, but that happens. But then you get scenes like this when they're talking. I mean, again, out of context, but if you know what they're talking about, he's talking about pillow pants. And I'm not going to explain pillow pants to you. Just watch the movie.
Watch the movie if you want to know about pillow pants.
If you want to know who Pillow Pants is, just watch this movie. Yeah, like crazy shit like that. Where's the one? Yeah, like where Randal's getting you can kind of see it on the screen, getting the going away present for Dante, I think is what I called this. Yeah, I don't know. See, it is cool. Like I said, even if I said an old character, I think I would still say Randal, because I don't know. I still feel like it's like we said, like you can see yourself in these characters. I'm like, I can relate to, like, sometimes like, yeah, some days you want to be a Dante, some days you're just Randal. I mean, to be honest. They still bring that same humor, even though this is like 10 years removed from over 10 years actually removed from the first movie, but you can still see it there, and it's what makes it fun. That's the heart of this movie is Dante and Randal, of course. Pictures. I'm gonna take Twitter off here, so I quit clicking on it for some reason. All right, let's go. What's plab? 3 is the plot. All right. So, where's that damn picture of movies? I wish StreamYard didn't do dumb things like not letting me move the pictures around. That is really yeah. Thank you. God damn, like I had it in some sort of order. Good lord. Oh, look at that. See, Street Requaid knows what's up. Rosario is also hot, and Troy in Sin City. See, that's what I'm saying is I'm like, look, I say you kids already, and I can say that because I'm in my Clerks II era. I can say that you know her probably as, Ahsoka, which cool, admittedly cool in its own right. I'm like, I'm going back to like Rent when she played a stripper, a drugged out stripper. I'm going back to Clerks II, where she was the manager, getting railed on the prep table. Getting mayonnaise in some very inconvenient places.
Mayonnaise in the cooch.
It's a rough day. But so this one we have different location, which is interesting. We moved on from the store, which there it is. Of course, it still opens up. I always love this. This is just like an iconic shot. I love it. The black and white outside of the quick stop. And where's the damn? I love that twist, like we talked about with the black and white. And in this one, like when he opens up the shutters, all of a sudden the store's on fire. There's a fire at the quick stop, and it's in color. He freaks the fuck out, and it's like, well, now what? Now you're kind of just left with a store that you spent probably the last 10 years of your life at, and now you're just like, I don't know what to do. You'd be sitting there like that too, just staring at it. Like, now what? And this right here, and I'll say it now. This was the moment, and of course that's what I labeled it. Randal just comes out of nowhere into frame. He just looks at him, looks at the quick stop. He's like, the terrorists? That's a great goddamn line and a way to introduce Randal. And yeah, that, for anyone who doesn't know, that is actually the first thing Frank ever said to me. I was
this might be the best scene in any Kevin Smith movie ever. If you like, you don't even have to know the background of these characters to just like, you just take somebody who's never heard of Kevin Smith, show them the scene, and they'll be like, oh my god, this is fucking insane. And they will laugh because it's just so wacky and funny. And then you actually watch, and then you go back and watch Clerks 1, and then you're like, oh, now I get it. Now the line actually makes sense, but I just thought it was funny at first.
Yeah. No, I'm at work in this new fucking place, and there was a whole pallet of material that had fallen on the ground. And I think literally I felt like a Dante. I'm like, it is Monday fucking morning. I don't want to be here. Not that I wasn't supposed to be. It's like I just didn't want to be there. And no one came to help me. My team lead didn't help me. I'm just left to pick up all this crap on my own. It's all over the fucking floor. And I don't know who this guy is. This big guy walks up to me. He just kind of like looks at it and just goes like, terrorists? And I'm like, it clicked, but I was also just stunned, like, motherfucker.
And
the next thing he said to me was that my team lead was an asshole, and like he walked away, or you helped me, and then like laughed. I was like, yeah, you're right.
And thus the bromance began.
And so it began, right? So that right there is a pretty not a good way to introduce this movie, but also that's the moment right there. Now you all know the lore of what happened, and then it just kept going from there. So of course, like I said, there's the new location of movies. Now a fast food restaurant in place of a convenience store and video store. And I wish in the 3 damn weeks that we haven't done this movie, I know a friend who I went to high school with. He runs a little store that has games, trading cards, things of that nature. So it's weird that it's a small, like, local place, and I have it somewhere out there, and I wish I would have used these 3 weeks to go find it, but he had, and it was still sealed in whatever it was in like a clear bag, a statue of Mubi himself, and it's a bank, like it's a coin bank. I don't know where it came from, what it was, where that thing came from, but like I was like, I have to have this, and I bought it. And I meant to put it up somewhere in my background, but maybe one day I'll have it. I'll put a picture out. But yeah, it's a cool new change of scene. And so now we're doing fast food shenanigans. And I don't want to ruin the big surprise going away party at the end, but yeah, Frank, what do you think about this plot in contrast to just maybe Clerks 1? Does this work for you? Is there anything that maybe should be different? Full less bestiality, maybe? I don't know.
Oh no, I wouldn't lose the bestiality at all. I'm sure Alex and the Guards are gonna have fun with that clip. But
clip that. Somebody clip it.
But Yeah, the funny thing is it's almost a complete rehash of the first movie. All they really did was change the setting and add a few characters, and it made it better.
A little bit.
Because this whole thing is the movies they all lead up to the realization at the end for these two characters. And so the entire movie is build up, and then of course we get to the part after, in the jail at the end of the movie, where they have this realization as to where it's not about where they've been, it's where they're supposed to be, and they kind of come to this realization of where they're supposed to be. And that's the one big difference about the plot, is at the end of Clerks 1, it was just like the end of this crazy day. At the end of Clerks 2, it's like, oh, wait a minute, now we've realized something about ourselves that we didn't occur to us to even want to care about 10 years ago when we were, just, selling cigarettes to 8-year-olds and, ordering porno movies in front of moms. But it's the fact that they twisted the ending up to age up appropriately with the two guys where they were at the time. I thought that's really what made this movie different enough to where it's like, oh shit, this is how it's better. This is how it's different. It's kind of the same thing, and like I said, Kevin Smith talked about how Dante and Randal are his vehicle to explore life in your 20s, and in this movie, life in your 30s. And then as he grows older, he uses Dante and Randal to kind of, visualize to us, the satire for us, what he thinks of being at that point in his life. Because, you don't always understand the changes that you go through in 10 years. So when you're 20, you just know what you know. When you're 30, you're like, oh, I'm different now. Then by the time you're 40, you're like, holy shit, life is completely different than it was 20 years ago. So yeah, I wouldn't change anything about the plot. I mean, like I said, I think what really makes this movie pop is the addiction of Rosario Dawson's character of Becky. I think that's the biggest difference from the first movie to this movie, that makes the story a lot better, a lot more whole, a lot more fleshed out. She's the one likable character other than Dante and Randal that makes this entire movie work. I wouldn't change a thing about the plot. I mean, because I was watching it the other day and I was thinking about this question, and I was like, I got to be honest, I can't knock any of this. I mean, I might have lost the whole the go-kart scene, but even then, it's like that scene, as much as it kind of just stops things for a while, it's still meaningful.
That's kind of the point, though.
It's Randal's way of kind of escaping for a minute and getting his head right. Sometimes we just all want to go stand out in the backyard, breathe some fresh air, and just kind of like take a minute to collect our thoughts. That's what does that for Randal, and even him and his chaotic brain needs that minute to step away from himself.
To center me, man. I don't know what it is.
he needs a minute to step away from himself and just kind of like reorient. So it's like, yeah, even that scene, which I've always thought you could kind of live without, works. So yeah, I honestly, I wouldn't change anything about the way he organized this movie, the way he put it together with the plot.
I kind of feel like this is maybe like kind of the pseudo replacement for the fact that they closed both the stores temporarily and went to go play hockey on the roof. Like they had a moment to just stop and do something they enjoy, because it's like, this is important to them. Like the hockey game. And this was important to Randal, or like when they went to go see their friend that from high school that died. I don't know. While we like seeing, almost movies that have like one room where they take place in like one spot, or like over the course of a day, like a John Hughes movie or something. It's nice to kind of break it up a little bit and have stuff like this. And the more I fucking look at this, I'm just like, gee, is that what I look like as a 32-year-old man on a fucking go-kart with like, it's all kids. And then there's my big goofy ass in a go-kart. I don't know. Is that what it looks like? I hope not. I'm just having fun. Like I'm gonna throw a turtle shell or a banana peel at somebody, like do my best Mario Kart and just peel out.
The one scene I might have lost, even though it's still funny in context, is the whole dance number. I'm like, if it were a musical, it would have made more sense if you tried to make this a musical. But it's like that one dance number.
Just like, having the little weird montage moment. Yeah, I don't know.
And all of them are dancing in the parking lot. I'm like, it's funny, and yeah.
Well, because it starts off with them, and then it just everyone for no reason just starts dancing, I guess. But whatever.
If it would have now, the one thing I may have changed about this, I think would have made it a little bit smoother, is instead of having that dance number, I would have done a prolonged like dance romantic scene with them that led up to the dip, and then that little piece of dialogue that kind of sets the movie down towards its end. Yeah, I would have had it end with that, and not done the whole dance number. I may have focused on Dante and Becky and just kind of and really just kind of gotten everybody into their relationship for that big reveal that happens during the dip. But that's
that was an important moment right there.
But then again, it's for one, you're talking about, you know, Kevin Smith, who he plays this humor. He likes to go kind of not like Family Guy does, but the weird tangent every now and again to kind of like just to kind of leave you stunned. But also, like at the beginning of the number, it's hilarious when he's got the ponytails coming out of the side.
Him and Jason Mewes both just have ponytails, just dancing like gurus.
And they start the dance number. I was like, that's pretty funny. But and the look on Kevin Smith's face where he's like.
Yeah, like that when he's in the window, just like him and Randal are just like singing to fucking Elias.
Yeah, but I might have shed that whole dance number and just kind of made it more about Becky and Dante. But I mean, even then, it's not like it ruins the movie or anything. So I still enjoy it when I watch it.
Oh yeah, Stuart McQuaid. Like I said, that's the line too. That's it right there. Used in a couple of jobs over the years. This job would be great if it wasn't for the fucking customers.
I've been saying that forever, man. I'm with you.
Yeah. So that's the go-karts. Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't change the plot either. I do, like I said, I like the change of location because again, this is a, you know, different era of Kevin Smith's life. I don't know if it that maybe kind of signifies a little bit of that change where it's like something that he spent doing for so long, like he did with Clerks, like just being stuck in that, you know, in that job for so long, and now going to this. Not that. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to, am I really going to compare apples to oranges? Like, am I going to compare the Quick Stop to, you know, movies? I don't know, but no, I wouldn't change it really. I know it does. When I think, you know, going off the rails, where's, all these pictures are damn small. Again, I can show you something like this out of context and it's like, yeah, but you know what the context is.
Yeah.
That, I mean, this is kind of that signature.
If you've seen the movie, you know.
Yeah, we know what Becky's looking at. There's things that go off the rails, but I'm like, you can kind of chalk that up to, I'm like, that's just kind of Kevin Smith. Like, you know, in Tarantino movies, there is that one moment where shit just goes sideways so fast. Like, he has it kind of happen real quick, Tarantino. Kevin Smith, I'm like, we're really this whole movie planting the seeds of like we're building up to this going away party for Dante. Because if anyone's not aware, the picture right next to it, hilariously, is this picture where Kevin Smith's wife gives Becky the invitation to the wedding. I'm just gonna I called her Mrs. Hicks. I couldn't remember her damn name, but I was like, maybe I can call her Mrs. Smith. I don't fucking know. Gives Becky the invitation to the wedding because Dante and I don't remember her name. Yeah, they're going to get married and go off to, was it Florida?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird. I thought maybe that was a part of the story too, because it's like, you know, you got two people who are like, you know, real close friends with Dante and Randal. It's like that is kind of a weird facet into your relationship now that you guys have known each other for so long, and now Dante's up and getting married and moving out of state, moving pretty far from Jersey to Florida, you know. So it's like changes like that in your life. It's like that's kind of a big thing too. Like at whatever point of your life it happens, that's just how life goes. So, I mean, it's like I said, under the goofy, under the goofy shit like this. I mean, like that's the thing about that. And like, where's the at the end?
I'm disgusted and repulsed, and I can't look away.
I can't look away. God damn it! I know I have. Oh, there. But like, and then you get scenes like this when they're in the jail cell, and it's like that back and forth between Dante and Randal. Like, it's like now we're getting to the real shit of these two guys just kind of laying their feelings out for, you know, how they feel about life changing between the two of them or what's, you know, gone on since then. It's some heavy shit, and you can laugh at all the, you know, bestiality and whatever shenanigans in this go-kart shenanigans in this movie, but damn if they don't get into some deep shit when they start actually going at each other. And then of course you got to have a little joke in there and shit like this. That's probably one of my favorite scenes, if not like, again, that if it's like, if you've at least seen that, you already know where it's going. I will admit, I don't know how this song got to be played, but I was at like a big arcade place that's here. You probably know what I'm talking about, Frank, but I'm trying to dox myself. But there's like a big arcade place here that we were at. We were outside just taking a break. And I kid you not, we're all sitting around these tables, and there's a speaker outside on the wall, and Goodbye Horses starts playing, and I just sit there and went, ooh. And I happen to have a fucking chapstick in my pocket, and I'm like, and they knew what I was doing. Like, these people are like people I work with at the haunt, and I'm like, would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. That's what I do the whole Jason Mewes fucking bit, and oh my god, it was perfect.
You know what's funny is I hear that song and I go back to this as opposed to Silence of the Lambs because I'm.
Oh, I know, yeah. I mean, that's the staying power of that. That's what's hilarious is like you can think of this before you even think of Silence of the Lambs. You just see Jason Mewes, being Jason Mewes. I don't think I have that picture of his little slasher moment, but I don't want to get us demonetized. So, yeah, no, overall, I mean, I think it's a fun movie. It's got, the shenanigans of Jay and Silent Bob, where was that damn? No, it's him talking about aliens and shit. One of my favorite dialogues is like, I'm fucking bored, man. Boredom is the first fucking step onto the path of relapse. I want to do something with my life, like be an animal doctor. I like seals and shit. Yeah, I'd be an astronaut. You'd be the first motherfucker to see a new galaxy or an alien species. And fuck it.
Fuck it.
There he goes. They'll be like, yep, homeboy fucked an alien. Oh, goddamn. I'm stalling because I'm trying. There it is. That's also one of my favorite fucking moments when the two guys come up to buy drugs off of Jay and Silent Bob. And this guy has no idea. This poor guy, after, definitely not seeing a sailboat, he's had his relapse.
It never occurred to me if he was playing the same character in this movie as he was in Mallrats.
I wondered, because I'm like, I know it's used some of the same people, but like, well, to be fair, we'll get to it. But in Mallrats, I mean, like Dante is in Mallrats, but as Gil Hicks instead of Dante Hicks. I'm like, yeah, is that his brother with the weird mullet or something? What is that? I don't know. So there's some discrepancies, but I do love the scene where, you ask him for fucking some weed and $15, little man, put that shit in my hand. Classic.
The guy's like,
and we're like, yeah, he likes to sing. He's like, so, if you're holding all the time, I mean, won't you be tempted to use? He's like, oh no, not with the power of Christ on my side, sir. He just taps Silent Bob, pulls up the Bible. Like, is that a fucking Bible? Hey, the holy fucking Bible, son. When I went to go meet Jay Mewes, I considered just buying a little pocket Bible and having him fucking sign that just for that deep cut.
Oh, that'd be dope.
I could not find one in time. I was like, fuck it. I got a Blunt Man and Chronic Pop, but like, I really wanted to find like a little pocket Bible and have him sign it. Because that would have been one of the funniest fucking things I could have probably possibly done.
That would be
have this degenerate sign a Bible.
That would be 100% worth going to hell. I'd get to hell and they'd be like, what sent you down here? I'd be like, I had Jason Mewes sign my holy fucking Bible, son. They'd be like,
damn. Holy fucking Bible, son.
Damn. Baller.
Yeah. Oh no. Hey, if you guys ever want to come back, you want to come back to GalaxyCon, I'll find one. I'll do it. Get a third chance to meet them because I got a picture with them later in the afternoon. Which, as some of you saw, I was Eddie Munson. So I don't know. It's funny being in costume with something that doesn't make any damn sense, but I don't care. I was having a good time. What's the fucking trivia? Well, I don't know. Where's the fucking Lord of the Rings guy? Yeah, and like we said, this kind of stuff here, like, and also I kind of had to. I'm a little bit removed from it because now we're it's 2025. I kind of forget, like in 2006, I mean, like Lord of the Rings had just come out like 3 years prior to this, right? Like Return of the King, at least. So these movies were still pretty hot and riding big at this time. So I kind of understand this this back and forth between this dude here, this customer, and Randal, which I have I had the picture somewhere of him doing that. There it is. Because this is where I have where I'm relating to Randal moment. Because he's like, God damn it, man, those Hobbit movies were boring as hell. It was 3 movies of people walking. They were just walking to places. Even the fucking trees walked in that movie. You know what I mean? Just like dumb shit that I would say. And he's like, hey, I love this moment. You want to see the first movie? He stares off into space, walks like 3 steps. You ready for the second movie? Takes like 3 more steps. All right, here's the third movie. Walks up, just throws the ring in the fucking volcano, and just gives a little shrug and walks off. Oh god, yeah, it's shit. Like I love just and even the customer in the corner. All of a sudden, he's just like, "Oh fucking A." I'm like, "What, did you just realize that's what that movie was about?" Goddamn.
Then he makes him puke. He gets so pissed off.
Just made some Lord of the Rings geek fucking puke all over the fucking counter. You got any cleaning supplies?
We have cleaning supplies?
Yeah, well, comparing pink to brown, I made that a Randal job. Restocking the napkins isn't Elias' job. Where's this goddamn pictures? This I love that. I put this up earlier because I'm like I love the weird callback to like when Dante was painting his girlfriend's nails behind the counter. I don't know why Dante's like a weird like savant for just like painting nails, but I mean, hey, he's still out here doing it. Maybe there's some weird hidden talent he has to make capitalize on it, man. I don't know. I haven't seen Clerks III, but I'm like, man, you know what? You want to make something in a really relevant recent time like Dante. I'm like, you could do some weird specific OnlyFans crap, just painting girls' nails or something. I don't fucking know, man. You could make some bank. I'm telling you, some weird shit out there. What is that?
Well, what guy hasn't painted his woman's nails at least once, though?
I mean, yeah, sometimes it's a chore. I mean, I get it. You don't want to do it yourself, so screw it. So someone else. That's Elias. That was my first picture. And we also, I think is it in the trivia? Pretty sure I put. Yeah, you know what? I'll say that. I put it in the trivia. But yeah, we got because we got Ben Affleck back. I don't. What did he? I'm starting to remember what the hell he was doing in this movie. I'm like, was he just like
that's what he,
at me, you weirdo?
That's what he did at the movie.
Yeah, I guess this is his whole involvement. He's just kind of there, But we do get Earl in this fucking movie. We get some Jason Lee as the pickle fucker, as it was. I do like this scene too, because again, this is the thing: is like instead of like people coming in the store, it's like people coming into the restaurant, and it's like this time of like they're 10 some years removed from being in high school, and you just see some prick that you knew in high school, like this guy here, who apparently hit it big, on the internet by making some website, and when they're saying like, oh yeah, he's like a millionaire now, I'm like, then what is he doing buying burgers at a Mewes in New Jersey? Like, okay. Is he like burying his money in the backyard? I don't know. But it's a weird thing when you run into somebody you haven't seen, and it is when you focus on like, hey, remember that time the seniors put a pickle in your ass and made you walk, and every time it fell out, you had to take a bite and start over. And I'm also like, again, with Kevin Smith's writing, I'm like, who the fuck thinks of that? It's goofy and I don't know. Weirdly enduring because I kind of like that shit. Get too much. Okay, let's do Stuart McQuaid. He was on a brain fart. I was there a second ago about Ben Affleck. He got to rewatch his movie. I know I've seen it, but I don't remember a lot about it. Yeah, I feel you. I'm just like, what was that? Oh, right. Jay Mewes was gonna show us his balls. That's what that was. As Kevin Smith has said, this man has shown me his balls every day of my life that I've known him, which tracks.
That makes sense.
Oh God. And then we get to this gentleman. We'll probably get demonetized for that god awful tattoo, but couldn't really. Yeah, hey man, it was either that or that. So I don't. Wait a minute, hold on. Is that a continuity error? Hold on, did I just find? Where's his tattoo?
It looked like
same arm.
Yeah, it's there.
It's not on that one though. That's his same shoulder. Or no, is it there?
Yeah, it's there.
Hold on. Let me readjust. I can't see a damn. Sorry, I can't see a damn thing. Can't look away. Okay, maybe it's a shitty picture. It's the lighting. Okay. You win this one, Kevin Smith.
Yeah, I almost put a poll in the chat, said, "Is it okay to go ass to mouth? Yes or no?" But
right.
but I was like,
never go ass to mouth.
I was just like, I don't know. BJ is really forgiving of some of the shit that we say on here, and I don't want to push her too hard. I don't want to finally push her over the hate me.
Well, I mean, we have that. Also, this kind of show is once we get to the end, we get the unfortunate revelation of us not the best place to finally realize, the girl you're looking for, man, she's right there. She's willing to get Mayo in places you wouldn't want to get on a regular Tuesday, but that's who it is.
If your relationship can start with that going on in the background, then you've probably got a chance. you can make it.
Yeah, you just.
Or you're messed up in the head. And
she's mildly like, wait a minute, like. But yeah, unfortunately, Ken Smith's wife, finds out and kind of cements that. That's the end of that right there. But you got the girl, I guess. Also, I'm kind of glad that was blurred out on Dante on Randall's shirt because I'm not going to repeat
trouble with YouTube.
I'm not going to repeat what happens in this scene right here, but it's cool though. He's taking it back. It's fine. Again, I'm not going to give you context. Just watch the movie.
Just watch the movie.
That's what we say here. Look, watch the movie. Just enjoy it for yourself. Don't let me just ruin everything for you, which I'm just going through stuff. Yeah, just the crazy shit that goes on in this movie. I think now that we've beaten the plot to death like a weird side sex show. Actually, no, there's one last thing I forgot. The ending. Jesus Christ. So like I said, they had that conversation in the jail and realized that maybe the quick stop is where they should be. They should reopen it and refurbish the thing and just run it themselves. And of course, the problem is, they don't have any money. And I'm really sad that I almost forgot about, one of the key moments of these movies. You got to have the Silent Bob line. And I don't know if it's just maybe situational where I'm like, oh my God, this is my favorite line. But this one's pretty damn funny. Like, this whole thing is going off and, I think Dante goes off on Jay. He's like, man, don't you have anything else actually constructive to say? He just looks at Bob. He smacks me. He's like, well, go on, you fat fuck. Say something. That's your cue. And he just stands there and just goes like, I got nothing. Like, that's the whole line. After all that, I got nothing.
And I love how he kind of sticks to the continuity of the entire View Askewniverse. He's like, he said, you always come up with that stupid Amy story. It's like, unless you've seen Chasing Amy, you might not get the joke. But it's like, I get that reference. and then he turns around and he's like, what do you ever attribute to the conversation? You got one answer. It's like, pussy, man.
That hurts. That really hurts. He does have a little bit more of a line, yeah, because he says like, man, what fucking good are you? You get that stupid fucking Amy story. You got one answer for everything, pussy, man. Come on. Yeah. It's either that or when he fucking yells at Jay about the sign on the back of the van.
But one of the things I like about that scene, it's like the end of Clerks I, it was one of those moments where they just kind of got it out of their system, because it's like, even with your best friend, you always have that one moment here and there where you're just like, get the fuck away from me, dude. It's like, I love you.
That's why they're staying on opposite sides of the cell. Yeah.
But this one, like I said, the first movie was just kind of one of those moments, but this movie, this really was kind of the moment where they grew up. Because I think that's the revelation that they have in the scene, is that, we're 30 something and we're working at a friggin' burger joint dropping fries. We should be in a life doing something. I think Dante was kind of on the road to that for this whole movie. I think that was the whole point, him marrying Jennifer Schwalbach's character and moving to Florida and running the car wash and starting the white picket fence and all that. I think he was already on the way to that, but I think this is the one moment where they both kind of got there together. That's what the whole point of the scene was they had this one big blow up that best friends sometimes have, and then it comes that moment of realization, like, wait a minute, we don't just have to do whatever we do to pay bills. We can actually go back to the quick stop and make this a career. That's where we were happy. We can make money doing it. We know what we're doing there. This can be our career and our place that we belong, rather than just the thing that pays the bills. So yeah, that they grow up in this scene, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, and I love it. And if you can tell, I made a completely new sign for everybody back there. because of course we can't do it without the I assure you we're open sign. Or in this case, we're reopen. Of course, we get and again, in out of context, I mean, you kind of have to see the other movies, but because of course the issue is like, well, we don't have any fucking money. Like, what are we gonna do? And of course, like Jay's like, no, we got that kind of money. I mean, if you've just seen this movie, you're like, yeah, probably. You're not gonna question like, yeah, they probably do. But it does make sense if you've seen Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. But so they give them the money to reopen and refurbish the Quick Stop, and of course the deal is like he's like, all right, we can hang out there as much as we want, and we can sell weed. And what was the third thing? Oh yeah, you two got to blow each other, and we got to wash. And he's just like, really? Okay, maybe not the last one. I'm like, what the hell? But I always like that this closes out the movie of them. And of course, there's always and guess what? You're not supposed to be here today. But it starts out this way, and they had that kind of settled into their in their happy place, and it zooms out and goes from the color to the black and white as it goes down the aisle, which is a really cool touch. So it opens and closes that way. And I had to say this in there, like, oh, one last cameo. The goddamn milkmaid is back. Kevin Smith's mom is back here looking for that one milk that's going to expire in like a decade. So that was cool to see her back again. At least it wasn't the guy checking the eggs.
It fits. So. It just fits.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, Kevin Smith also does a perfect job of placing those nostalgic little hits like that in just the right place.
The black and white.
Yeah, so as the camera pulls back, switching back to black and white, that would have been cool enough. But then you pull back more and see the milkmaid. You're like, holy shit! Now I feel like I've jumped in that time machine and gone back to Clerks I. That he has a great ability to make those, to put those in places where they're going to hit the hardest and do the most good. Because a lot of people in his position might just kind of overstuff movies. We see that a lot in the comic book movies. All these member berries, especially in the Legacy sequels. I think one of the reasons why it was so hard to make those work when they first started trying to do them is because it was always loaded with, remember this thing, remember this thing, remember this thing. It doesn't actually have any impact in the movie that we're trying to show you, but remember this thing? It existed in this world, remember? And it kind of just floods, the movie with useless crap. But he was really good about putting those things in here at just the right times.
Yeah. Like the iconic black and white. Then again,
oh yeah,
kind of a laugh, not really like a laugh, but it's like you said, a little smile because you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. Like you feel like you're in Clerks again. You kind of get that last little thing with that cameo there, which is really awesome to see. Okay. And now for something completely different. Now we have trivia. As always, I'm trying to go down. There we go. Oh, good. I get to start. Oh, good Lord, we're starting strong with this right here. I'm glad that it's on there that it says how many minutes into the movie, because that tells you how off the fucking rails this is. So at around 22 minutes, the idea to have Jason Mewes do his Buffalo Bill dance to Goodbye Horses came straight from Mewes. There's no surprise. Who apparently does this on a regular basis to writer-director Kevin Smith, which, again, I completely fucking believe that, honestly.
Like I said, if you've never watched An Evening with Kevin Smith, you should find it. You can find it in clips on YouTube. You should at least find the one where he talks about how he met Jason Mewes. And it's like, you'll laugh at it because it's hilarious, but like when he's done telling the story, you just kind of realize, like, how else are you going to meet Jason Mewes? It's like, it makes perfect. Anybody else, that would have been wrong, but it's like, when you know it's Jason Mewes, you're like, that makes perfect sense. How else would you meet this person? And not the character of Jason Mewes. That's how you met him. It just fits. Sometimes the universe just puts things right where they belong.
Oh, yeah. And my favorite is him explaining Snooch and how it just grew into Snoochy Boochy, Snooch the Nooch, and just he does his little thing where he likes to sing, and then it eventually just goes back down to Snoogans, which I guess means don't kick my ass. Whatever he said it was. Okay. Now look at that. Perfect. Let's go back. Yeah, there she is. Okay, next point. Kevin Smith was criticized for casting his wife, Jennifer Schwalbach Smith, in the movie. He defended himself, though, by saying, quote, I always cast my friends in my movies, so why wouldn't I cast my best friend, which is my wife? Which is a fair point. Yeah.
Look, it's not like she hasn't been in his movies before. Well, I mean, yeah, she was in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Yeah.
She was one of the thief girls. I know she's been in other things. I just forget exactly where. But I mean, yeah, who cares? Look, she's good in the movie. I mean, it's not like she was a terrible actress and brought the movie down. She fits the role really well. And again, she's not the obnoxious girl that you hope he doesn't end up with. It's like, yeah, they don't fit. But I mean, Dante is about to find the happiness that had been eluding him up to this point. So you're kind of happy for him. And if the movie goes the way that it says it's going to go for him in the beginning, you wouldn't be mad about it. I mean, look, she's not a bad character. She's just not the one for Dante.
Yeah, I think she serves the purpose of what the story was trying to tell, because obviously, we all know it's Becky. Becky's the real one, obviously. I don't know. Would I choose Kevin Smith's wife or Rosario Dawson? I mean, I kind of would. I think I would say Rosario Dawson. I'm sorry. I don't know. Can't go wrong with that. Oh, good. That might actually give me some context. Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Hold on. That was wrong. I skipped one. But since he's here, around 11 minutes, the gawking guy, who's played by Ben Affleck, was originally supposed to just roll his eyes and walk away when Dante and Emma, that was her name. Dante and Emma start making out on the counter. The character's one line, like, that's not very hygienic, was ad-libbed by Affleck. Wait till they tell you about the mayonnaise, good sir. And when you think about it, was it really mayonnaise or,
Hey, easy.
When you tell
YouTube, easy.
Like when you tell somebody, no, I was like, when you tell somebody in the middle of a really romantic dip for a dance on the roof that you're pregnant, it's like, okay. Just watch the movie. You know what I'm talking
about. I forget what he was, I guess. I know when he had done his cameo in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where Jay and Silent Bob go to his apartment to talk to him. I guess the reason he looked so disheveled is because I guess the day before had just flown back from his last day of shooting for Pearl Harbor. And that,
okay.
And he was just like, and he had not slept and everything, but Kevin Smith was like, that's kind of the look I want for the character right now in the scene. So just get in front of the camera. So that's why he looks like he's so beat up, because he had literally just gotten off like a 12-hour flight from Hawaii when he had wrapped his filming for Pearl Harbor. But I think he had just finished filming something else right before he had filmed this quick cameo. I forget exactly what it was. But
it wasn't Geely.
It's fun. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, it's fun to see. It's fun to see these now big time stars pop into these Kevin Smith movies and just kind of like do fun things because they're buddies with Kevin Smith.
Oh yeah. Let's get back to Kevin Smith, because I skipped one. Although most Kevin Smith films have been interlocked with reoccurring characters, locations, and themes, as well as references to each other, this is the first real, quote, sequel made of any of the films. And to be fair, yes, in name and also, I guess, kind of in continuity's sake, it is actually a sequel. Because the rest of them all just kind of exist in the zeitgeist of the View Askewniverse, which is fine. Like I said, like why Dante is sporting a mullet in Mallrats, I don't know. Maybe there's some undercover thing he was doing between Clerks and Mallrats that I don't know about. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the whole mustache for Henry Cavill thing. he was secretly filming something else.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. I need the pickle fucker. Here we go. Originally, Matt Damon was supposed to play the role of Lance Dowds. However, Damon was also filming The Good Shepherd, which came out the same year, at the same time, and couldn't make it. So Jason Lee took over the role during a day off from the show My Name is Earl, which was also a pretty big staple in the early 2000s. Yeah. That's why I called him Earl when I introduced him, because I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what I know you as.
Well, because you can tell because he has the Earl look. He's just got a button-up polo on instead of being dressed like Earl. So it's like we couldn't cut his hair or anything to make him look like he had just sold a startup website for a couple of $1 million. He's got to look like Earl. So, yeah. But it makes sense. Whatever. It was fun. It was a good scene.
It kind of gets like the swarmy douchebag kind of thing going for him, because he's still. It's the way he plays it and just acts like he's better than them. It still works,
especially with those lamb chops on the side of his head.
Hey man, come on, don't knock the chops. Sometimes it works. Hugh Jackman can do it. I sure as hell can. I've tried, but what do we got? Okay. Well, that's a perfect No, let's go back to this one. Fuck it. One of the things that prompted Kevin Smith to make this film was a promise that he had made to his friend Jason Mewes. If Mewes managed to stay off the drugs, he would be able to play the character of Jay one more time. And of course, Smith kept his promise. And like I said, I think we're all better for it.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, it's like, even when you see Jason Mewes and stuff since he's been sober, he's still hilarious.
I mean, he's still a goofy ass dude.
Yeah, he's every bit the Jay that we've seen in the movies and the Jason Mewes that I've seen in interviews. I don't remember if it was in An Evening with Kevin Smith or the second one he did. Like, Jason Mewes is actually like, he actually comes out on stage for a little bit and hangs out with him and does some talking, then goes backstage. But and that was one of the times where he was sober. So, but yeah, it's like, even then, it's like when he's sober, he's still the same guy. He's still funny and kind of outlandish and weird.
Because it might have been the first one, because I love that he's like sitting in the chair next to Kevin Smith, and I think it might have been when he was like explaining the story about Snoochie Boochies, and he's like, yeah, when this guy, like, you know, he graduated high school, and then some guy yells in the audience, he's like, you graduated high school? And Kevin's like, what? And Jay heard him, and he's like, yeah, barely. Like, he just drops that fucking, like, yeah, barely. Yeah, at least he's honest about it. It's still funny. Love it. Oh yeah, and I left it out because I wanted to save it for the trivia. We also have another little important cameo right here. Around the 1 hour and 8 minute mark, Kevin Smith's daughter, Harley Quinn Smith, is the little girl that Dante waves to in the window of the restaurant. We had a little mini Harley Quinn Smith in the movie.
She's got the same hairstyle as Jason Mewes when he's introducing the musical number.
Well, and Kevin Smith apparently. So yeah, apparently, you know, it's weird that like 3 people in this movie had the same pigtail haircut, but it's weird that it happened 3 times.
Yeah, that's look. When it comes to like casting your friends and stuff like that, look, it's not unusual for a director to work with. Well, not even that. It's not unusual for a director to be comfortable with an actor. I mean, Ron Howard's made 4 or 5 huge movies with Tom Hanks. You know, Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio. It's like every other movie they're together. It's not unusual. Look, sometimes you just find a group of people you like to work with. Sometimes you play off of each other just right. Now, are they the best people to work with? Maybe not, but are they the right people to work with for the project that you're trying to put out there? Yeah, they're the right people. Sometimes you don't want the best person, you want the right person, and the right person is the one who gives you who brings the magic that you need to make this thing special. And these things are special because he keeps bringing back O'Halloran, because he keeps bringing back Jason Mewes, because he keeps bringing back, you know, Jeff Anderson or now Trevor Fehrman or whatever. It's like you bring those people back because they get what you're trying to do. You can't. Some of these people are unreplaceable because like, who else could play Randal Hicks? I mean, a lot of people could do it and be really good at it, but they're not Jeff Anderson. They don't bring what he brings. Is he an Oscar level winning level actor? Probably not. No, and I'm sure he would say that. But there's nobody else that can play this part the way he plays this part. Can you imagine anybody else doing the Randal walk? It would just look dumb.
I'll say the Randal walk, man. Yeah, exactly.
It looks dumb when you and I do it. We know it looks dumb when you and I do it, which is why we do it. But he does it and it works. It just fits. That's the way it's supposed to be. So yeah, you have the right people around to make your thing work. That's more important than having a big name or an Oscar level actor or whatever. That's the most important thing.
And she's been in his movies even more, you know, recently too. Like fucking what was it? Yoga Hoser. She was in Tusk. Jane Silent Bob the reboot.
Yeah, I mean,
his daughter's been in the movies too. Hilariously playing Jason Mewes' daughter in the movie, but Jason Mewes' real daughter was Ben Affleck's daughter in the movie. It's all weird. Just go watch that movie. I'm not going to try and explain it. Yeah, so in terms of things that also, when I mentioned that story, I'm not saying I hit this moment with the same gravitas as Jason Mewes, but I'd try my damnedest, okay? That's what I'm saying. Same. Oh, that is kind of funny to point out that it is the same iconic hairstyle as Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad. That is kind of fair. No, my mom coming in. Yeah, John Wayne also worked with his friends. Yeah, like I said, work with people you know. I mean, you know, some, like you said, there are some directors or some actors, people that work together quite often, and because it works. Like one of my favorite pairs of people to watch on screen are Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. Yeah, And I'm like, because they work together so well. The Cornetto trilogy, man, go watch that. That's that's some fun stuff right there. Okay, that's a long one, but we will get through it. Where's Becky? Where'd you go? There's Becky. Okay. So what could have been several actresses were considered for the role of Becky. Among them, Sarah Silverman, who I can't fucking say her name, who didn't want to play a love interest, but noting that she would have definitely played Randal in a heartbeat. I want to take a pause right in the middle of that. That's funny as hell, and I love that.
I could see
maybe Sarah Silverman could play Randal. You know, like we were just talking about, maybe her. Oh, yeah, she would. Yeah, she could play that pretty well. Also, Rachel Weisz, who the filmmakers considered too difficult to get a hold of, whatever that means. Bryce Dallas Howard, as we just mentioned, like with Ron Howard, was already, albeit secretly, attached to Lady in the Water, which came out in 2006. Liv Tyler, which would have been interesting, did not feel comfortable saying much of the dialogue.
I get it.
Do you know who your dad is, though?
Yeah, that's the funny thing.
Steven Tyler is clutching his pearls. Like, come on. And Ellen Pompeo, who could not do the movie because of her commitment to Grey's Anatomy, which was also in 2005. A lot of big hits in 2005 and 2006. Rosario Dawson, considered to be a long shot, finally agreed to do the movie mainly to see the filming of the Donkey Show.
I mean, if I'm reading
that picture,
if I'm reading the script and I get to that point, I got to be like, I don't know. It's like the movie sounds fun, but I kind of want to see this on set and see how it plays.
Look at a car wreck. I can't look away, but do I want to see that? I don't know.
You know, of all those names, glad we got Rosario Dawson. I mean,
yeah,
Sarah Silverman would have been fun, but I think with her being a stand-up comedian, I think it would have been better for her to play either a love it. I think, the movie, yeah. I know she says she would have played Randal. I think she might have been an interesting love interest for Randal because they're both kind of off the wall.
Oh God, yeah.
Rachel Weisz, way too high level for something like this. But I think that's one of the reasons why that might have worked, because she's a great actress anyway. Bryce Dallas Howard, she's kind of a great actress anyway. Liv Tyler, I can understand not feeling comfortable saying some of this dialogue. It's like
Liv Tyler go up there and saying like you don't go ass to mouth.
Look, there's been I've read about a lot of actors and actresses that have turned down roles because they're like, I didn't want to do a nude scene, or I didn't want to do a sex scene, or I wasn't comfortable with this or that. I mean, it's a good story and I like it and I hope it's successful, but I didn't want to do it because of that. I mean, I get it, but I can totally understand. Elaine Pompeo, it would have been funny. It would have been funny to see her do something like this and then go do something stupid serious like Grey's Anatomy, which is very much a drama soap opera thing. It's not like it hasn't been done before. I think it would have been fun to see her do it. But ultimately, I think Rosario Dawson was the best one. I think, like I said, sometimes you don't want the best person, you want the right person. And I think she brings to the role what needed to be brought to the role.
And to be fair, I'm like, I think the movie right before that, 2005, was Rent. I'm like, you're playing a 19-year-old like heroin addicted stripper. I'm like, and then you're doing this. So I mean, talk about range, but yeah, it worked, and for the better. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, she is.
Kids who know her as Ahsoka, you have no idea, do you?
Yeah, she is super talented. Like I said, go say what you will about the whole Oscar slap thing. Kevin Smith is fucking, or not Kevin Smith, but Will Smith is fucking brilliant in the movie 7 Pounds, which she is in, and that is a very dramatic piece. Where I mean, it's kind of an ensemble cast. Will Smith kind of carries the movie, but there's a lot of really great actors in it. That movie is amazing. Like, you cannot turn away from that movie. It's so good from beginning to end. And the ending, a bit of a shock if you don't. I mean, if you know what 7 Pounds means, what the reference is to, maybe you'll kind of see it coming. But I mean, it's a fantastic movie. I think it's Will Smith's best acting that he's ever done. And she is very good at it as well, in a supporting role, but a very deep emotional one. She's just fantastic.
Hell yeah. Okay, picture of movies, because I can kind of see it. Oh, hello. Don't highlight everything. Okay. The movies that was used in the film was a closed Burger King.
Makes sense. And I know that for years people were on Kevin Smith about trying to open at least one movie's restaurant, and just to have it. And he was always kind of against it, but I think in the years since he's actually opened up some pop-up movies where you can go there and buy like, like a cheap hamburger or whatever.
Yeah, I think I saw on it was a TikTok or something or an Instagram reel, him and Jay Mewes were like in the kitchen and Jason made like a double cheeseburger, like Movie's burger or some shit, and made some fries. And I'm like, if you guys want to just do like a cooking show of just make the whole menu of movies, I mean, I'd watch that. I don't care. It's pretty funny watching them try to just build this burger, just being, themselves, as you would imagine. But
you could, I bet you he could do like a 10 or 15 minute video of just him and Jason Mewes making a Movie's combo meal, a double movie burger with cheese and bacon and some fresh fries and pouring a glass of Coke. He could put that on the internet right now and make 1.5 million views.
Right.
You don't even have to like try. Just get a frozen patty from Walmart and just show yourself making a movie. Yeah, and just show yourself making a movie burger. 1.5 million views on YouTube, guaranteed.
Put some little fake candy flies in the cheese and some pea ice cubes from the urinal. Yeah, it's lemonade. Yeah, it's totally lemonade.
Little chocolate flies or something. Yeah,
yeah. Ooh, it's no chocolate covered pretzel, but damn, that is intense. All right. Since let's see, I have to do Jason Mewes for this for sure. All right, since Frank likes to do this to me, and even though he may have already read the notes, do you want to do an over under of how many times the F-bomb is dropped in this movie?
I've already seen it because, like I said, I got these notes together, but I mean, it still seems low.
Well, there's one more for the count. Damn it.
Well, one of the reasons I put it in there is because, like, I didn't count it out or anything, but I was just like, I feel like that number is not right.
Well, apparently the word fuck and its variations are used 136 times throughout this movie, and I would probably add on there probably mostly from either Jay Mewes or probably Randal. I don't know. It still seems low, but I don't know. I think I may have said that in the first movie where like it's probably not. It might still be Randal. I don't know. It kind of seems like the one.
Yeah, like we come into this. We run into this all the time. Sometimes the trivia from these movies are not accurate, but they're clearly a little messed up. But they're not always right. But like I feel like listening to it, I feel like it probably is wrong. I feel like there was probably more F-bombs in there than they want to admit.
These people have the same kind of conversations you and me have, so maybe to us we're just like it just goes right over your head. I don't know.
Yeah, and we swear like sailors, so
yeah. I think I saw a funny video the other day. Some girl's like, I'm just gonna be honest, when I'm around people that don't curse, I feel like I'm not in a safe place. I'm like, I kind of get what you're going for.
Well, they say that that people who swear are statistically, I mean, they've done studies that people who swear are more honest. They tend to be more truthful. So I don't know what percentage that is, but more than people who don't. But that's what they say. I don't know how true that is, but I've been hearing that for a long time. So maybe there's some truth to it.
60% of the time, it's true every time. Maybe I don't know.
Just like Sex Panther. 60% of the time, works every time.
That doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It smells like pure gasoline. All right, what's? Oh, that's it. Look at that. We'll drop the F-bomb, and that was the mic drop. So, final closing thoughts on Clerks 2. Go. What have you got for me?
God, come on. What are we thinking of the movie? It's Kevin Smith. It's View Askewniverse.
What have we had said in the last hour and a half?
I know. It's like if I was going to shit on this movie even a little bit, I would have done it in the last little bit, and it's not today, and it's not going to happen. Like even the musical scene, which I probably would have done differently, is still funny and hilarious, and it still works. Like I said, Kevin Smith is just one of these guys who he knows how to kind of show us the world from a different angle. I mean, there are other movies, other directors that can show us aspects of the world, but Kevin Smith, he's just so good at it. There's a way that he communicates, a way that he writes that is very ground level. We relate to it as regular people in ways that we don't relate to a lot of things that try to hit us at ground level and hit us at a certain spot. It's just good stuff. Sometimes when a movie doesn't take itself that seriously is when that movie becomes awesome. And I think that's kind of what Kevin Smith has done with all this View Askewniverse stuff. It's like, yeah, he's gone and done some bigger stuff and all that, but when it comes to his own stuff, he's just like, I'm just going to do Dante and Randal. Okay, we're working in a quick stop and a video store. Now we're at a fucking movies and they're fry cooks, and now in Clerks 3, they're back at the home base, and more crazy stuff happens when they're in their 40s as they're getting older. It's dude, he's got this whole universe of characters that he's built on lock. He knows how to write it better than anybody else could. He made the improvements that he needed to make this movie a little bit better. Dude, there's nothing wrong with this movie. I know a lot of people may not like some of the humor. I get it.
It may not be for everybody.
Yeah, different strokes for different folks. But if you're one of those people who's a real cinephile and who really loves great storytelling, you can look past that and be like, holy shit, Kevin Smith can really make a great movie. He has great dialogue. Mm-hmm. He tells great stories. And these characters are really good. The performances are all really good. I mean,
it comes from a real place,
Even Kinky Kelly and the Sexy Stud, you can't look away. So I mean, yeah, it's a fantastic movie. You should watch it. I have it on I have on DVD, of course, because it's Kevin Smith.
Yeah, like mine are all out there.
Yeah. So yeah, I've actually watched it a couple times over the course of the last few days, and I can't get enough of it. But yeah, it's a great movie. If you're into it, does still have a little bit of an independent feel to it. Not quite the same as the first Clerks, but it does feel like a low budget movie, even though it had like a way bigger budget than the first one. I don't know, it's like 8 or 10 million or something.
It's some big name stars too.
Not a lot by today's standards at all. But I mean, when you consider that he basically made the first.
If movie, I had $5 million to make a movie, I mean, yeah.
If you can, when you consider first movie for bus fare, I mean, it's like, and then this movie still feels like it works with the first movie, and I know you haven't watched Clerks 3 yet, but I mean, when I sit back here and I watch and I think about all three movies in the bigger picture, these three movies all fit together very, very well. And a lot of times, as the budget and as the egos grow, the movies can kind of get lost in its own bullshit. The creativity can kind of get derailed a little bit. Through these Clerks movies, it's never been that way. All three of them are very, very good. And even Clerks 3, while it changes a little bit of the presentation of Dante and Randal's existence, it's a perfect way of describing where they are at this point in their lives. And it's like I said, this entire Clerks trilogy is fantastic. Part of me kind of hopes he goes back to the well at least one more time in some facet to maybe talk about what it's like to finally become the elder statesman of filmmaking, because he's been doing it for 30 years now. So he's not the new guy, the new independent filmmaker anymore. The guy's been around. I'd like to see him kind of maybe use Dante and Randal if possible to kind of say, hey, this is what it's like. I wouldn't mind seeing a Clerks movie where Randal has become like a filmmaker. It'll make more sense once you see Clerks 3.
I was like, isn't that? I was like, I can't speak on it, but I'm like, isn't that kind of the point of 3? Like, he tries to make a movie about his life, which is the whole circle.
I could tell you what the most beautiful thing about Clerks 3 is when you get to see the movie that he makes. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it too much for you, but it's
I'm saving it for our first watch.
You being a fan of Kevin Smith and of this franchise the way I am, you're going to be like, holy shit, that makes perfect sense. It's going to blow you away. It's like, why wouldn't it be this? Why wouldn't it be this? But yeah, it's when we get around to checking out Clerks 3, it's going to be fun. I'm going to have to watch that again. I think I bought it on Amazon because I wanted to watch it. But yeah, these Clerks films are just fantastic all around. He doesn't get too full of himself, Kevin Smith. He doesn't become bigger than what he is. He just tells the story of these two dudes and the people around him. And you throw in some Jason Mewes acting like a weirdo and Snoochie Boochies and all that, and there's like I said, the next movie has a lot of emotional weight. The aging gets to these guys at the end, and I realize that now. Having just turned 49.
I was like, are you in your Clerks era?
Yeah. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm already here. It's like I've grown up because I'm in this age group. Like Clerks came out when I was in my
Clerks 3.
And then Clerks 2 comes out. I was in my 30s. Holy shit, I'm aging with these characters. So I'm like, damn.
That's cool.
Kevin Smith's hitting me kind of hard.
I'm one generation behind it. I'm sorry.
Kevin Smith's hitting me kind of hard right now with these movies. But yeah, it's the Clerks franchise for all the other View Askewniverse stuff. I mean, Kevin Smith has done, I think, some of his best work with the Clerks movies. I think that's true. That's truly where he shines as a filmmaker, is telling these stories that we feel like we could live in. So go watch it. It's on streaming, and you could probably find it in the $5.99 bin at Walmart if you're still the physical media guy. But it's a great movie. You should go watch it when you get a chance.
I also agree. Definitely a watch. I mean, which should come as no surprise. Yeah, I do like that the Clerks, while it's kind of the center of this universe, and it is kind of I know we talk about sometimes in movies there's self-inserts, but I'm like, I feel like this is, I guess, maybe the correct way to do it, because like you said, it's like you have Kevin Smith and Jay Mewes over there, but you also have Dante and Randal. It's like that's their, or at least Kevin Smith's outlet of like getting like what he, like you said, what he thinks about things going on in the world and in those different eras of his life. And I do like that is kind of the what's the Marvel term, the sacred timeline of like this whole View Askewniverse is like, this is the thing right here is the Clerks, and then you got all these other bits that go to this world that he's built. I think it's a great movie as well. It's of course worth a watch. It's worth buying on physical media. I mean, whether you're into that or not, I think everyone should be, because it's like, if it's at least something worth it, and I definitely say this is something worth it to have on physical media. So yeah, I definitely agree. It's definitely worth a watch. I'm repeating myself. I think that was about it. Yeah, nothing else. No shit, it was Fantastic Four. Anyway, so speaking of that, what have you got going on the internet? Or rather, what are we doing Tuesday?
This weekend's gonna be it's gonna be interesting. Fantastic Four is coming out. I'm gonna go see that. I'm gonna continue to get the house put together. Hopefully, eventually. We've only been living here for 2 months, and I should have most of this unpacked. Thankfully, you guys
don't feel bad. We've been here longer than a year, and we still have boxes.
But I'm glad you guys can't necessarily see some of the stuff. It's still in totes and stuff behind me. I saw all my DVDs are in there, and baseball cards and stuff I have to unpack.
I'm kind of hiding a big box of crap right here.
Yeah, I mean, back here there's a bunch of crap.
Though, right over.
You can see my tubes of posters right over there that I still have to figure out where I'm hanging half the stuff. I still want to do some background stuff, but yeah, I'm getting around to it. But other than that, I'll be working on a little bit of that this weekend around the house. Plus, obviously, going to see a Fantastic Four. We're going to be doing that on Tuesday. It's getting some really good reviews. I'm kind of hearing what I was kind of had it in my head what I was going to think walking out of the theater, that I was going to love the movie and still feel annoyed at Pedro Pascal's casting. I've actually heard that from a couple of people, that they think the movie's getting banger reviews. I mean, it's doing really, really well. Good. And I was watching a non-spoiler review from Christian Harloff today, and he kind of said the same thing. He was just like, this movie's awesome. It's great. I am seeing some people saying it's awesome, but Pedro Pascal might be the odd man out. He's definitely not the one that carries the movie. I've heard that Evan Moss-Baccarat, who plays the Thing, and your boy is my boy Eddie Munson. Yeah, your boy Eddie Munson is they're the ones that they're the ones that really do carry the movie. They're kind of everybody's favorite as they walk out of the theater. So yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully this is Marvel getting back to full form. It's been a little bit of a journey back. Bob Chapek's gone. He's not around to ruin things anymore. So hopefully the creatives at Marvel are back in full control, and Fantastic Four is going to be the movie that really puts us there. The last couple of movies have been better. Still not quite, first three phases good, but there's been improvement, project by project. Hopefully Fantastic Four is where they dig their toes in and really start to push forward again, and we're back to great high level Marvel stuff. And it's getting good reviews, so I'm optimistic. I'm eager to go see it.
Yeah, look at that. And I think you said backstage, my mom went to go see it and didn't go with me. What the hell's that about?
I know she didn't go with me, but that's all right. You know why? Because we got a date in September. We're gonna go watch. Downton Abbey.
Oh yeah, Downton Abbey.
Final act. So save the date, BJ. We're all going to that one together.
I'll even go. Like I said, I went with my mom to go see the movie, and I'm like, I have no context. I have not seen the show. I'm jumping right into this, and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on, but okay, fun movie. I still enjoyed it. So
yeah, I'm
assuming this is the sequel to that. So
yeah, I was really surprised because they let a really huge plot point get exposed in the trailer, and I was like, really? If you're letting that plot point loose in the trailer, what kind of crazy shit is going to happen to this family in this movie?
Because better hope it's. Yeah.
They kind of blew me away. I have my theories, but whatever. We'll see how I turn out.
Yeah. As for me, I'm going to go see Fantastic Four as well. I think it was in the chat. Tex said that there was a trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's 2 that was before it. Right before I came on here, it popped up on YouTube. Holy Jesus. Even if you don't know, I mean, that's Rachel's vibe. That's her thing. That's her thing is Five Nights at Freddy's. I understand it enough where I'm just like, ooh, I know what that is. I know what that is. I know who that is. I know what that is. So even if you haven't, I think that is going to be fantastic. It's actually kind of more of what we wanted from one. I don't mind that it was set up to be more kind of kid-friendly and it kind of held back, but I think this one is about to just go off the fucking rails and be a little more horror in what it should be. And I'm curious to see how this works, because talking about universes and stuff, this exists in its own kind of thing. Not necessarily like how the games are. The movies are one thing and the games are something else, but there are the tidbits of, like I can look at the style of the animatronic and I can tell you, I'm like, oh, I know exactly what that is, because that's, they say this is the original Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm like, yes, there was another one, because 2 is actually a prequel to 1 in the game. So they might kind of do that and rewind. It looked pretty awesome. Yeah, so I guess we're doing Fantastic Four.
I think Tex was saying that he had seen the trailer, and I haven't seen the trailer yet, but I know it's going to be in front of Fantastic Four. And he said that it definitely leans more into the horror, which makes me very happy, because I liked the Five Nights at Freddy movie. I thought it was a lot of fun, but it was a little bit too much of a kids movie to me. I wanted to see them go a little bit darker.
This looks like an actual horror movie.
And from what I've heard, some people describe it that it definitely leans more into the horror vibe. So I'm okay. I'm with
games
that.
Are horrifying sometimes, yeah. And it has a Kenna Grace in it from Ghostbusters, so
yeah, I'm
here for that. I was wondering. I saw her post a picture where she's on set. She's outside of a Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm like, whoa, back up, child. What? You're what? You're what? You're doing what now? What? You gave up chasing ghosts to go get ghost kids and animatronics? This is really messed up. Oh, look at that. I guess maybe she can go see it again. I mean, hey, we're seeing twice, I suppose. Okay. Let's see what. That's. Jesus, I'm sitting here looking at where's the stuff at? There's nothing. Where's the beef? Jesus Christ. All right, so I guess we will be back. Where's the music? There we go. I know what I'm doing. Tuesday, talking about Fantastic Four. It's going to be a great fucking time, and we will see you guys then. Goodbye. More Eddie Munson. That's what I'm here for.
I think all Five Nights at Freddy needs is some nudity, but at the same time, it is kind of a kid's movie, so I don't know if we're going to go that route.
But what is?
So I said Five Nights at Freddy needs a little bit of nudity to help satisfy Tex.
I don't think we're going to get that.
I don't think we're going to get it either. Some side boob at least. I mean, give us something.
I don't know. It was the 80s. Whatever.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.